We are recording now. That will be the final goal. Okay, so at the end of this class, you will be here, kind of. It's not done yet, but as you can see, we have the fountains here. We have different levels. Okay, so we go from that level to that level too. So there's a street there, there's another street there. So probably there's slope in that street, but we will do that later in a different video. Today, we're going to deal only with flat areas. Okay. And there's something that I need. So I'm going to stop. Let's study the site a little. So as you can see, we have a street here. That street, it's at the lower level. This is at the basement level. And all that stuff, it's at the first floor level. Okay, so it seems very basic because basically we have like level 0 here, and then we go level -10 or level -12 or whatever for that street. But at the same time, we have a lot of things. So here we have a green area. Those are the fountains, and we have 2 levels for the fountains. We have this, and then we have a waterfall, and then we have this rectangular fountain there. Then we have this path, this gray path that connects that street and the other street in this direction. Here we have parking lots, and I assume that all the parking lots are at the same level. This level is the same level as this parking lot because I don't see any ramps or I don't see any weird things. Okay, so we can assume that this parking lot is at that level. So basically, it looks very simple. We have 2 levels. This, and then the lower level with the parking lot and this green area. But it's more complicated than it seems. So we are going to try to simplify, but at the same time, I don't want to simplify too much. So I want to do something in the middle. If we can use that guy, okay. So we are here. Where is the museum? Here. There you go. So that's the lower part. This is the parking lot. We have this nice sculpture here. And yes, I think all this is at the same level, this parking lot and that parking lot. Okay. If we go back to this and we move this guy, can we take a? Yeah. Oh, okay. So those are pictures. Okay, so you see that this is the entrance. This is one of the fountains, and this clearly it's below. So that's the basement level. That's the first floor, and there's a sidewalk, as you can see. So we have the sidewalk. We have a green area, and what is this? This is like a planter, or it's those are concrete walls, and we have bushes here. Okay. So we have different things. So let's start working with that. So if you see this, we have taken a picture from this side. I have this brownish mass that I have to get rid of, but those are the 2 levels for the pools. We have this level for the pools or the fountains. We have this level and that level. If we are here, you see that we have this, and then we have this. That's the green area, and that's the sidewalk. So this sidewalk is this one. And then this green area is this one. This is this element we have here. You see that there's a wall, and we have something green above it. Okay, so that's the end, but we want to start from scratch. So I will do this, and I'm going to delete this. There you go. And I'm even going to delete all these green lines that I created. Okay, there you go. Have you ever seen this section box? You know how this section box work. Okay. So okay, let's analyze the levels. Probably my levels are different from yours, but you have to analyze your own levels here. So in my case, I have level 0 on the basement, and then we have level 10. And level 11. Okay, so this is what I have. There are students that have this like 1 foot and 6 inches or 2 feet. In my case, the first floor, the slab is a 1 foot slab. It can be more or less, well, less, no, but it can be 1 to 2 feet, but that's fine. But those are my levels. 0, it's on the basement. 10, it's the lower part of that slab. 11, it's the upper part of the slab. So if we know that, I'm going to create something solid at level 11, and then I'm going to start carving things. So okay, so imagine that we have this, and we have soil up to the ceiling level. And then if we want that space, we have to carve it. If we want this double volume, we have to carve it something that goes up to the first floor. So that's what we are going to do. To do this, I'm going to work with topography in massing and site topo surface. And to work with this, I have to work with this site in floor plans. I have to select site. Why? I don't know, in 3D doesn't work, the topography doesn't work. In other floor plans, sometimes it doesn't work or it does weird things. So everybody recommends working with this site plan when we're talking about the topography. And that's it. Okay, so that's the footprint of my building. And there is a problem is that I can't see on this site floor plan, I can't see my, well, you can insert the site plan on that, but otherwise, I don't think you can see that, not even working with visibility graphics or creating the view range. So I haven't been able to see this. Maybe there's a way to do that, but it doesn't matter because we're going to work with level 0, and then we're going to work with this scope box. Okay, so that's the scope box, and I want the scope box to be as big as my model, kind of slightly bigger than the area that I'm going to model. Okay. So then I go to the site. On this site, I have the scope box, and now I'm going to use topo surface. So by default, the elevation is 0, but I told you that I want to create something at the level 11, and I'm going to create a solid block. So I click on the corners of the scope box, and just click OK. And on the 3D view, what do I have? Okay, so you see that I have buried, let me see. It's here, it's underneath, it has not disappeared, okay? But now it's completely underground. So that's why we have this weird effect, because the top of my topography is the same as the top of that slab. So we have this weird effect. Okay, so now we have to start carving the spaces. So what's the first thing we have to do on the site plan? The first thing I have to create is the footprint, okay, the footprint of my building. So, and that's what we're going to use. That's the tool we are going to use, the building path. So if you look at the video, so we have a topography, and then we create a drawing on it with that shape. We click OK, and we create a horizontal element, a horizontal slab on that topography. In this case, the topography doesn't have a slope. Okay, I have just created a flat topography, but now we're going to subtract parts of this topography. So we're going to use this building path many times, and that's a teaching strategy. Okay, so we have you use the same command many times so that you internalize it. We have worked a lot with this component model in place. So in this exercise, we're going to work with the building path. Okay? So building path, and now I need a footprint. I'm going to do something very basic first. Okay, so I'm going to just trace this rectangle. I click OK. What's the elevation, by the way? The building path, it's on level 0, on level 3. And here we have a high offset. I don't want this. So let's work with level 0, which is my basement, and the offset is 0. I click OK. Then go to the 3D view, and you see that we have that space here. Okay, so now this is not covered with earth. If we move the section box, we can see that the section is hollow. Okay, so we have the basement here. It's not covered with earth. Is that what I want? Well, not really, because probably the what happens with that element here, with that space that we have underneath, probably we don't have this. We can always, the good thing of building paths is that we can always edit the building path. Okay, so that's the topography. I want to select everything, filter, and I want to select the path. So now I have selected the building path. If I want to edit it, I can edit boundary, and then I can change it. So I'm going to try to trace the real footprint of the building. Here, I am going to split that element, and now I'm going to trim here and here. So let's click OK, and let's see what we have done. Okay, so that's the entrance to the building, and now it's part of my topography. Before it was hollow, but now it's a part of my topography. Okay. Probably, well, probably. Okay, this is my building. So I'm going to change the building path again. So again, I select this, I edit boundary, and now for the building path, I want to move it here. And no, I'm going to move it here. Okay. So now this part, this outdoor part of the building is covered with soil, but we have a, you see that now we have a conflict between the soil and the topography. So that's why we have this weird effect here. So I'm going to make my building path up to the inner part of this room. So I'm going to select the building path again. Filter, select it. And it has to be edit boundary. So I want this to be the inner part of this column here and there. Well, I'm doing this because I want you to understand that we can edit a building path. So even if we make a mistake and we find out that we have made a mistake, we can go back and we can change the building path. Okay. So now we have the floor, and then we have the topography, and I have created a building path so that the building, we have the footprint of the building free of earth or free of soil. Okay, so now that's the building, but now we have to start carving the surroundings, and that's what I have to understand with this. Okay, so I'm going to do, so the level of my earth is this. Okay, so everything that is underneath this level, in my drawing, it's underground. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open this courtyard. And this courtyard goes up to the basement. So let's do it. And how can I trace this courtyard? I have to go to level 0 because inside I don't see this picture. So I'm going to try to trace different things. And what do we have? You see that we have a sidewalk here. Okay, I'm going to do something very basic and then we will modify it. If I model this rectangle and this courtyard goes from this point up to, let's say, this point. Okay. Now I go to the site, and in the site, I can see the green line that I have created here. Okay, so now with the site, I can go to massive site, building path, and I can trace the same rectangle that I have drawn. There you go. Level is 0. Level 0. Is it correct? Yes, because it's the basement level. So that's the level that I want. So I do this, go to the 3D, and I have this courtyard here. Yep. Now, what's next? I see that so we have this courtyard. We have this, so this is at a different level, and then we have a sidewalk, and then we have the parking lot. Okay, so I can give more details to that, but I think I'm going to differentiate between something and something that it's not green. So we have a green area here, and another green area here because it's symmetrical, and that's the entrance to the building, and this is the sculpture that we have here. Okay, so I'm going to keep modeling or to keep carving all this part up to this parking lot. So I have carved this rectangle here, and now I'm going to keep carving all this. So let's do it on level 0. So on level 0, I want to keep that rectangle for, okay, so let's do this. I'm going to go to architecture. I'm using level 0 just to trace the model, but as I trace the model, I understand what it looks like. So there's a tree area here. So I'm going to have this tree area. And well, this is symmetrical. So whatever decision you make on one side, you have to create a mirror. I have this line here. So this is the mirror axis of the building. And then I have the symmetrical, okay, because we are tracing, but now we're not tracing something randomly. If we know that this is symmetrical and we have done this rectangle, the other one has to be symmetrical the same way. And okay, and here we can see that we have this sidewalk for the parking lot. So we can trace this. I will create model line. Then another model line here. And another model line there. And then this. And now I can use this option, fillet. Fillet makes a curved transition between these two straight lines. Okay. Now we can create another fillet here. And I don't think they are symmetrical, and it makes sense because that's the entrance, that's another thing. I'm not going to do the symmetry for the fillets. So I'm going to try to trace these things. And this is not a fillet. This looks like a trim. Okay, so I have created this. It's not symmetrical. No. I don't mind. So I don't mean that that Louis Kahn is wrong when he designed this, but for the sake of symmetry, I think we can make it symmetrical. Okay, so we have these two. And why do I need this? Because I want to trace different building paths with different elevations. So let's do it. Now on the site plan, I want to trace different building paths here. Sorry, because I need to see, okay, the limit of that architecture model line. Yep. There's something here, probably those are staircases that go from that level to that level through that staircases. So you can go to this. So I'm going to model these lines here. And the limit of this parking lot is here. So I'm going to model up to this place. Okay. So now I have traced all these, and what I want now is to, because to create a building path, we need to close that shape. So I'm going to copy this here, extend it here, and now copy here and trim. There you go. As you see, I'm making up things, okay? So I'm not following exactly what I have here. It's blurry, and I don't mind. I'm just doing something that looks feasible and looks good. Okay, so now with this, I can start creating building paths. So where is it? Massing and site, topo surface, building. Building path, no topo surface, building path. And now I'm going to create this void here. So I'm going to pick all the lines, all the green lines that I have created here. And then this, and this, and this. So I'm tracing these shapes that I created here. Okay. And are we done? We have to be careful because we have to close this shape. Okay, so if we have to trim, we have to make sure that it's a closed loop, because if it's open, it won't work. There you go. Okay, so now that this is a closed loop, I can finish, and let's see what happens. So I have carved this area here. I have this tiny, so I didn't carve this. Okay, I will fix it later. But you see what I have done? I have created this. I have now a lower level for the parking lot. And what is this? Okay, so those are sidewalks. So I'm going to model those sidewalks now. How? Okay, there are like 3 different levels here. We have the parking lot level, then we have the sidewalk level, and then this is where the trees are. So we can say that there's 6 inches from this level to the sidewalk, and I don't know, 2 or 3 feet up to this level, kind of. So we have to go from the thing that it's higher to the thing that it's lower. Okay, so I'm going to create a building path following where the trees are. So those are trees, those are trees. I don't think it will work. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so it happened to me yesterday. So we can create two building paths at the same time. And now this is level 0, and the height offset is 0. If we want this to be like 3 feet above level 0, I have to type here 3. And click OK. Let's look at what we have done in that. Okay, so we have created here this building path that is 3 feet above that level. I have to do the same for this one. So I want to create another building path. I want to select the same lines that I created here. Level 0, height offset 3. Click OK. I don't check it because I know it's correct. And now I want to create another building path, but following this, the sidewalk. Okay. So I'm going to select these elements. Okay, this building path. And now it's level 0 and the height offset 3. And I want this to be 6 inches. Continue. Okay, so there's something wrong here. Okay, I think I duplicated something. Let's see. Let's try now. Now it works. Okay, so now I do want to see what I did. That's it. Okay, so we have the basement level. This is parking lot. Then we have a sidewalk, 6 feet, 6 inches above. And then we have these elements where the trees are, like 3 feet above that. Okay. And now we have to do the same with this part here. So I'm going to create another building path. I'm going to select all these lines. And yeah, I think that was the mistake. Go. And now we have the same thing. Sidewalk, parking lot, lines. If we think, I don't know how it looks like in a realistic color, slightly better, but the realistic, sometimes if the computer is not good enough, it takes a lot of memory. So I'm going to keep working with the shaded colors. And if we want to differentiate materials, and I think at this point, each level has a different material. We have the green area, then we have the sidewalk, then we have the parking lot. So just to make sure that we can change different materials, if we select something and you click here, this paint, okay. So if you click here, you can easily select something greenish, something that you have on your, it's not the final material, okay? So I just want to make sure that if we click here, this is green. And if you click here, this is the sidewalk. Horrendous color. Okay. But anyway, now with this, I know where the parking lot is, the sidewalk, the green area. So now I can understand that there are different levels here. It's not just different materials, but different levels. Any questions so far? So let's keep moving. This area is more complicated than that. Okay, so again, I did this on purpose so that we can change it. If we find out that something is wrong or we can change this. We can always select the building path, the site. Well, let's go to level 0 first. And for level 0, I work with wireframe. And now we can see that there is okay. So I don't need this. There is like a planter here. You see that big area. So that's this. Okay. And then there is like a sidewalk going from this part of the site to this part of the site. So this is not attached to the building. So I'm going to do this planter, and I don't think if we have, well, I think we have pictures from here. Yeah, we do have pictures from here. Okay, so there you go. So this is the big concrete wall with bushes, and we have this sidewalk, and this is not attached to this. So there's a sidewalk, probably, I don't know, 3-4 feet to go through this side. Okay, so we're in this courtyard. We are underground because that's the entrance to the building, and we are at this level. But there are more things. We have this, and I'm going to model that right now. So we see that this is the sidewalk, and this is the planter. So I'm going to trace that shape here. Okay. Then on the side plan, I'm going to delete this building path. I'm going to select this, filter, building paths, and I just delete that building path so we don't have it, okay? Because now we're going to make it more complicated. So on the site plan, first I need a building path for this. 3, 4. Level 0, 6 inches. No, this has to be at least, I think it's 6 feet above that floor level. And we go to the 3D. Yep. And now we have to carve the rest. On this side, I can go to massing inside, building path. And now I want to select these lines here, including this. I want to trim. Okay. And now I want to go like level 0 with 0 offset. Let's see what happens. Lines can intersect each other. So what does it mean? Okay. I think I get what's going on. We have 2 building paths sharing one line, and Revit doesn't like it. So I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to move this way, like this. And because this. Now it works. So I have created the green area. Then I have this planter, and now I have to carve this part. So from the side, I have to create another building path. Another rectangle here, and there, and there you go. Well, I don't have a wall here. I only have the columns, but there's a wall. There's a concrete wall connecting all these columns. And now, if I change materials, this is green, and this is green. Okay, so we have two different levels, but this upper level is all that stuff, and then we have the green grass here. So I like this exercise because when we were working with the Farnsworth house doesn't affect the site. So that's the beauty of the Farnsworth house. We have those columns, and we have the columns on the ground, and then everything is floating. But this building, it's heavy. So it's like when this building lands on this site, things happen around it. Okay, so there are two ways to approach a site plan. You can put something there, and it doesn't change. It doesn't affect the soil. It doesn't affect the contour lines. Or you do something big, and it's landing on that side, and then things happen around this building. So in this kind of building, the building affects the site. Okay, so you have different levels, and but all these little details add quality to the space and to the project. If we have just a flat thing here, it's like boring. But you will see that there are a lot of levels here, and trying to understand this, even the experience that you have when you are here, when you are looking at the building from this place. So that's the entrance, and you see that from that level to that level, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. There's well, something weird happened there. You see that that's the entrance to the building. So we have this wall is made of glass. It's not travertine, it's not concrete. So this is made of glass. And okay, so that's the entrance to the building. If we want to see this arch that we have here, probably that's the best point. Yeah, this is it. So that's the fountain. You see that we have 2 levels. This level, I think it's the same currently. And then this goes, I don't know, a couple or 2 or 3 feet goes this way. And we have something here that people love, this infinity pool. So you don't see the edge of, well, you see the edge, but it's the edge of this pool is water. Okay, but here we see that the edge is something solid. It's still there. Okay. So we have this, and now we have 1, 2, 3 steps to go down. Then we have this element. Then we have 1, 2, 3 steps. We go to that level, but this level it's even lower, and we have another pool or another pond here with another stairs there. Okay, so we have to understand that because it's more complicated than it seems at the beginning. So let's try to work with these two, with the fountains, or this level and that level. So let's do it. In the side, we don't have enough information, so we have to trace this here. Okay, so let's try to figure out how this works. Okay, here. So we see this is the rectangle. And that's the upper level of the fountain with this curve here. Okay, so again, I'm going to assume that this is symmetrical. So I'm going to model this, and then I will model the other one. So if I want to do that, I think I have missed a few columns here, probably. And there. And now the first fountain level, building pad. It can't be a rectangle because we have this curve. So I'm going to count from this candle to this one. And then here and there, and then I will fillet this to this in the curve. Yep. And so now levels. It's on level 0, and the offset is 0. No, now this has to be level probably 10, and the offset 0. Let's see what happens. Okay, I think it's correct, but then I have to carve, or I have to release all this area. But anyway, that's the first level of the fountain. And can I mirror building paths? If I select this, I have selected the path. And then if I'm in the side mirror, yep. So I can mirror building paths. I don't have to trace it again or to create the lines again. So I can mirror building paths. And now what I need is the other level, the lower level of that fountain. So I have to go to level 0. And the rectangle is I have lost. Okay, I don't remember. Anyway, I'm going to create another building path. And I'm going to extend this in this direction because this is slightly bigger and it's slightly bigger here. And then this, and now I'm going to pick all these lines and 3. Level 0, height offset 0. No, because this is slightly below, probably 2 feet below. So we have to click level 10 and height offset -2. And see what we have done. Okay, that looks good because that's the upper level of the fountain, and this is the lower level. And now I can mirror here. Yep. For sure, this is not soil. This is not earth. So probably I need to carve this. How? Well, you have to look at this because there's a level here. So apparently this level is the same as this, but then that goes down this way. Okay, so I don't want to do this. I want you to find out, but probably I have to carve this up to this level, and then I have to go down because this there's another level slightly lower than that. And then for the I can keep working on that. And now, for example, I have this walkway or sidewalk or whatever, but there's a grayish area, and here we have a slope. Okay, so we have like steps going down towards that street. Okay, so that's going to be a challenge, but so far what I'm going to do is to keep it simple, and I'm going to use a building path, and no, not the building path, sorry, because this is the 0 level. So I want to trace this first. Okay, I'm going to move it here. So that's the That's the street. Then I go this way, and I'm gonna trace this range area. Up to the other street here. Okay. And I think that would be enough for the site to create another building pad. This. Okay. And now, I'm not sure if I'm doing the correct thing, but anyway, I'll find out later. What I do know is that this has to be a closed loop. Okay. So I need to close this. Okay. Now work. No work. We're gonna stay there. Okay. Level 0, offset -2. It's nope, that's wrong. So I have to select this. It's level 10 and level -2. No, because it has to be slightly slower than the fountain. So I'm going to make it level -3. There we go. Okay, so now this is the first fountain level, and I'm going to use material, paint. Is there glass or something transparent? So that's the work. Okay. Now, if I keep moving, so I have carved up to this place, and now I'm going to create that space, that green area that we have before getting into the Renzo Piano's building. So I'm going to trace this, the building is here. So I'm going to select all this. And here we have like this, and then that, and now I trim. This, that, and now with the site, I'm going to create another building path. Here. Screen. There we go. Level 0, -2. That's wrong for sure. But okay, this has to be on level 10. And now I don't remember, this is level -2. Okay, so I want this to be -3. And if I had to paint this, I would use the greenish thing.